It's now my pleasure to welcome to the stage to present the official Orange County State of the Schools Address, Orange County School Board Chairman, Mr. Bill Sublette, followed by Orange County Public Schools Superintendent, Dr. Barbara Jenkins. Mr. Sublette.
Thank you, Rich, and thank you so much for CFLA's hospitality. Give it up for the Central Florida Hotel and Lodging Association. Thank you for doing this. Well, good morning. Oh, come on, we're school parents. Good morning. There we go. Thank you so much, each and every one of you, for taking time out of your busy lives to come hear about the exciting year that we've had at Orange County Public Schools and hear what the future holds for Orange County Public Schools. An acquaintance of mine recently turned me on to that great philosopher, Winnie the Pooh. Pooh once said, the best thing to do is to stop writing introductions and get on with the book. So on the advice of Pooh, let's get on with the book. You've come here today to hear about the arts and education, and I can think of no better way to do that than to begin this morning with a special announcement from our friends at the home of Winnie the Pooh, Walt Disney World. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage the president of Walt Disney World, George A. Kalogridis.
Thank you, Bill, and good morning, everybody. A few weeks before the Dr. Phillips Center for the Performing Arts opened, I was doing a tour there with Superintendent Barbara Jenkins and remembered a trip to the theater I made as a very young man and how it impacted me. It was a moment when I realized how powerfully the arts could reach, touch, and teach, and I still recall that trip so vividly today. I mentioned to Barbara how great it would be if some of our Orange County public school children could have a similar experience at the Dr. Phillips and learn through storytelling and entertainment. Barbara agreed, of course, that that would be great, but the issue would be finding the right partners and the funding to put such an initiative together. Fortunately, in Central Florida, willing partners are not hard to find. The Orlando Repertory Theater had just created a production of the Mostly True Adventures of Homer P. Figg, based on the classic children's book about the Civil War. Orange County Public Schools created a resource guide to help teachers, parents and guardians, and young audience members engage as an enhancement to this core part of the 8th grade curriculum. The Dr. Phillips Center for the Performing Arts provided the perfect venue in the Walt Disney Theater. United Arts offered to be the fiscal agent of the grant that could fund this production, which would require a budget of $200,000. And Walt Disney World offered to fund this grant in full. As Walt Disney, thank you. As Walt Disney himself once said, laughter is no enemy to learning. And we believed this play could enhance education in a fun and entertaining way. So, this school year, 13,000 8th graders in our county will get to experience the beauty of DPAC and the Walt Disney Theater and the transforming power of the performing arts while learning about the Civil War. And this is not happening sometime in the distant future. In fact, the first performance takes place at 10:15 this morning here in the Walt Disney Theater. We at Walt Disney World applaud United Arts, Orange County Public Schools, the Orlando Repertory Theater, and the Dr. Phillips Center for the Performing Arts for the dedication and foresight that are giving our 8th graders this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And we are very pleased to play a part and to help this dream come true. Thank you very much.
Thank you, George, and what an exciting opportunity for our children in Orange County Public Schools. I have to tell y'all, I'm going to go off script. You made my morning with that ooh when he said it was today. And George has to make an early exit. He has a meeting back at the castle, but we would like to invite each and every one of you. He's already exited. We would like to invite each and every one of you, if you so desire, to stay around after the speech this morning and join the students in the Disney Theater, the Walt Disney Theater, for the magic of the mostly true adventures of Homer P. Figg, or Joey and Linda, as I say, that sounds a lot like one of our board meetings. A short 3.5 years ago, I'm glad you all thought that was funny. My board members, you all too, but the board members in particular. A short 3.5 years ago, we hired Dr. Barbara Jenkins as our superintendent. We set a high bar for her, telling her that we aspired to win the Broad Prize for Urban Education, not just for what the prize symbolizes, but for what it measures. You see, the Broad Prize celebrates improvement in America's urban public schools. It is the equivalent of the Nobel Prize for a school district. Each year, the prize goes to that urban district which demonstrates the greatest overall performance and improvement in student achievement, while simultaneously reducing achievement gaps among low-income students and students of color. When we hired Dr. Jenkins, we thought it would take us 4 to 5 years to become a finalist and 6 to 7 years to actually win the prize. Clearly, we underestimated Barbara Jenkins, because our Orange County Public Schools is the 2014 Broad Prize winner. Dr. Barbara Jenkins, I'd like to introduce you to the stage and ask you to join me up here.
Thank you, Chairman Sublette, and thank you to all of our friends and team members that are present today. I have to tell you, I have an outstanding Board of Education. They make my job so much easier. Our chairman is quite adept at maneuvering issues, both political and governmental, that he has to deal with, and he leads a fantastic board. And I just want you to know, I've got the best school board in the nation as well. Would you stand to be recognized? And then the wonderful friends that we have. Thank you for being here today. It is true, we have much to be proud of. And it seems only fitting that this week is Teacher Appreciation Week, because our success in winning the Broad Prize is due to the dedication of 13,000 teachers and 9,000 support staff. We serve 192,000 students, and people are still floored at that number. They work hard, our teachers and staff, every day in the classrooms and in our schools. Representing our wonderful teachers is Lainey Clowers, OCPS Teacher of the Year, and representing our support staff is Mark Nelson, OCPS's Support Person of the Year. Lainey and Mark, please stand so we can recognize you. We are joined today by 2 other gifted employees, Principal Angela, well, she is a princess too. It sort of goes with the theme, doesn't it? Principal Angela Murphy Osborne of Palmetto Elementary, who recently was recognized as this year's Principal of Achievement by the Florida Department of Education, and Mark Shanoff, Principal at Ocoee Middle, the 2014 National Distinguished Principal of the National Association of Elementary School Principals. Please stand so we can recognize you as well. And I have to tell you, our ability to reward our 22,000 employees for their hard work is really through paychecks. That's where it really matters. They do a lot of work, they're dedicated to our children, but they do have to make a living as well. And so their paychecks are dependent on tax collections. The Great Recession put a crimp in those collections, as everyone knows. Our per student funding remains down about $426 from 2007. And our purchasing power is down about $1,500. The funding for significant raises was previously not there. But this year, our board dug deep, and I am pleased to report that we recently entered into a 2-year contract with our teachers, a contract that provides them with average raises of 6.3% and a $1,000 Broad Prize bonus. We had a similar raise for our support staff and $500 bonus as well due to the Broad Prize. Can I have all of our teachers and staff that are in the room please stand today so we can give you a hand? Any staff? let's try that again. If you work for OCPS and you get a paycheck from OCPS, would you please stand? Okay. Thank you. They are so modest, but they make the magic happen for OCPS, and we appreciate them all.
I just love it when she puts on the boss voice. We especially want to thank our community for their support of public education. This year, Orange County voters renewed the local option 1 mil property tax in support of public schools, a revenue source which has enabled us to avoid draconian cuts in sports, the arts, and music during the recession. As a result, we have art in every one of our 189 schools. And we are so proud of our commitment to the arts at OCPS that we chose this beautiful new community venue for the annual State of the Schools address to highlight our commitment to the arts. I think my steam machine is malfunctioning. It's not supposed to be on there. After all, this morning is all about the STEAM. And the A in STEAM is for the arts. All right, Teresa, match that at the State of the County.
So that wasn't my idea, because no female wants steam blowing on her hair early in the morning.
Don't worry, your hair looks terrific.
As the chairman mentioned, every one of our elementary schools has an arts program. Some even have dance and theater at elementary school. All of our high schools and middle schools have art classes and band and chorus, and most of them have string orchestra, and many have dance and photography. Not only are we committed to arts education, but we are also committed to active participation in the arts community. Over 65 schools participated in the Winter Park Sidewalk Arts Festival, and 80 students were selected to exhibit their artwork at the Orlando Museum of Art this year. 65 schools participated in the Maitland Rotary and Windermere Rotary Art Festival as well. And our students excel at the arts. Ocoee's middle school 8th grader Jennifer Lee won first place in the state of Florida for her visual art entry in the Atlantic Institute's Art and Essay Contest, Kindness Without Borders. Her win earned Jennifer and her art teacher, Brenda Burtnick, a trip to Turkey. Diana Schwan, a senior at Timber Creek, will be attending Oberlin to also study vocal performance on a $55,000 scholarship. Maria Varis of Hunters Creek Middle School has been accepted to the Middle School Honors Orchestra performance at Carnegie Hall this summer in New York City. And Gian Perez of Lake Nona High School received a full scholarship for summer performance program at the Berklee School of Music in Boston. Will you all stand to allow us to recognize your talents?
Those wonderful 4 students and thousands of others excel at the arts. In fact, 252 OCPS students were selected for the 2015 All-State Band, Chorus, and Orchestra ensembles. And 1,500 students participate in our all-county ensembles, where they learn from nationally recognized conductors and artists. The West Orange High Jazz Band was one of only 2 high school jazz bands from throughout the world to be selected to perform at the 2014 Midwest International Band and Orchestra Clinic. We also earned national recognition. Lake Nona Middle School's chorus performed in ABC's nationally televised Christmas Parade. Glen Ridge Middle School's orchestra performed at Disney World, and Winter Park High's all-girl a cappella group Take 7 was named South Champion at the International Championship of High School a cappella groups, making them one of the top 12 a cappella groups in the entire country.
We are especially proud of the fact that 2 of the 15 Florida public schools recognized as Florida Arts Model Schools are our own, Howard Middle School for their music, dance, and visual arts, and Lake Nona Middle School for their music and visual arts program. In fact, in only its third year of existence as a magnet program, Howard was named a Magnet School of Excellence by Magnet Schools of America, the first OCPS school to be named that distinguished list. Colleen Jones, you can come. Colleen Jones, who led us in the national anthem, is a Howard Middle School student, as you recall. I want to make you aware of the exciting new Career Pathways to Creative Sector Jobs. It's a program at Evans High School, funded by United Arts. The arts is a major economic engine in Central Florida. One recent study revealed that the arts contribute $264 million annually to our local economy. While any discussion of the arts tends to focus on the performers, the arts economy is so much more. It is the sound and lighting tech, the usher, the ticket taker, the stage manager, the musician, the choreographer, producer, director, and the box office employee. In fact, the overwhelming majority of the jobs in the arts are behind the stage. This wonderful program will provide Evans students with a pipeline into careers in the arts.
Which leads us to our second major announcement today. While we are still working out the details, we want you to know that we are in active negotiations to build and operate a zoneless performing arts magnet school right here on the grounds of the Dr. Phillips Center for the Performing Arts. It is our dream and our vision that our most gifted performers will matriculate into this new school, while students will work hand in hand with seasoned arts professionals on and behind the stage. And we are certain that by partnering with the Dr. Phillips Center in this endeavor, we will create a performing arts magnet school second to none in the entire United States. And there's our steam. All right, that's good, Anna.
So I'm going to take a minute for the steam to clear. While I'm pausing, there was someone who wasn't here earlier when the introductions took place, and she's such a wonderful supporter. I want Mayor Jacobs to stand to be recognized.
Amen.
Thank you for being here. The STEM in our STEAM is science, technology, engineering, and math. STEM encompasses almost everything in our daily lives. We eat, we have to communicate, we solve problems, it impacts where we live. Virtually everything we are exposed to has been developed with a foundation of STEM knowledge. Not only is STEM important to the lives we lead, but for many of our children, their ability to earn a living may depend upon them becoming STEM natives. Since 2010 alone, Florida's labor demand in STEM fields has increased by more than 63%. Listen to this. For every non-STEM job posting requiring a bachelor's degree, there are 2.5 STEM job openings. And currently, there are more than 55,000 unfilled STEM jobs in the state. And they pay well. STEM jobs, which require a bachelor's degree, pay at an entry-level wage averaging $66,000. And those which require a 2-year degree average $53,000 per year. We live at the epicenter of Florida's STEM economy. Our local modeling, simulation, and training industry is a $5 billion economic engine, and it employs more than 60,000 Floridians. Yet many STEM jobs go unfilled by Central Floridians because of an emerging talent gap, a crisis in human capital which represents a vast, growing unmet need for highly skilled, educated STEM workers.
OCPS is committed to exposing our children to the benefits of a career in STEM and to providing our students with the tools they need to succeed in STEM education. We produce a K-12 STEM newsletter, a competition newsletter, and a math and science curriculum newsletter, which go to all of our teachers. We use those newsletters to inform our teachers about STEM programs, training, and competition opportunities. Now, our own Kat Gordon loves to say that it is a poor frog which doesn't praise its own pond. Kat, listen up, because we're about to praise our pond.
In our pond, because we have been promoting the benefits of STEM education, the number of our students earning industry certification for internet web development has quadrupled in the past 2 years. Those earning... but there's more. There is more. Those earning certification as a Microsoft Office specialist have doubled. Those earning industry certification in engineering have more than tripled. And the number of middle school students enrolled in IT and business programs has quintupled over the past 2 years alone, from 1,800 to nearly 10,000 students. Some of our gains are attributed to a $1 million grant we received from the Dr. Phillips Charities to create the Dr. Phillips Charities Certified Schools Pilot Program. That grant went to 5 area high schools to increase technical education offerings, mostly in STEM fields. We are joined this morning by Ken Robinson from Dr. Phillips Charities. Ken, please stand so we can thank you.
Our NAF Academies offer specialized learning in engineering, health sciences, and information technology, and we have gone from 11 to 23 NAF Academies over the past 4 years alone. The curriculum for these academies comes from the nation's leading provider of K-12 STEM curriculum, programs, and professional development, Project Lead the Way. Last month, we learned that we had won a $2 million grant from Lockheed Martin to expand Project Lead the Way from 21 schools to all 186 of our elementary, middle, and high schools within the district within only 3 years. That deserves applause. We are only one of 3 communities in the entire United States to receive this grant, and Lockheed Martin's representative, Toby Allen, is here with us today. Toby, please stand and allow us to recognize Lockheed's generosity.
In addition to Dr. Phillips Charities and Lockheed Martin, we also partner with the major corporations and professional societies, the armed forces, and industry groups you see on the screen beside me for everything from teacher training to field trips, curriculum, providing subject matter experts, and hosting classes and competitions. This fall, we will be opening our first launch site at Mid-Florida Tech. This program is a partnership between OCPS, our local higher education partners, the Armed Forces, and the Central Florida STEM Education Council. Our launch site will prepare OCPS students to enter the workforce as animators, modelers, programmers, simulation designers, and motion capture technicians. Imagine that. These skills will enable them to work as virtual engineers and create the advanced learning systems used by military and educational institutions. We are excited about the opportunity our students will have to enter these high-demand, lucrative fields.
STEM education is so important to us that we've even taken it down to the VPK level. Yes, you heard me, VPK. Our pre-kindergarten teachers attend STEM training provided by UCF professors and early childhood department instructors so they may develop STEM challenges for our pre-kindergartners. How cool is it to see pre-kindergartners doing STEM? Beside me on the screen, you see kindergartners at Waterbridge Elementary engaged in a ramps and pathway STEM challenge. And here you see Ventura Elementary pre-kindergartners design and test a house to protect the 3 little pigs from the wolf. And this Riverdale Elementary preschool class has created xylophones using colored water and jars. And to think we just banged the drums and played with our Tinker Toys.
We are especially proud of our Carver Middle School robotics team. Last summer, they took part in the MIT NASA Zero Robotics National Competition, where they went undefeated and won the Florida region, defeating teams from 6 other Florida school districts. They made it all the way to the International Space Station finals at the Kennedy Space Center. What makes their accomplishment even more impressive is that the Carver team was the only Title I school in the competition. Carver had the highest percentage of students on free and reduced lunch, minority students, and get this, female students participate on any of the teams in the country. 4 of our members I want to be very clear, they competed with a very competitive field. 4 of our members from the Carver team have joined us today: Kenny Breedy, Sierra Hatton, Rashard Tillman, and Elijah Wells. Please stand so we can applaud your accomplishment. I pointed over here because they told me they would be sitting to my right. We are extremely proud, and we are convinced your zip code nor your income level can impact your learning when adults support you. We're very proud of our team. Sometimes our students say things better than we ever could, so here's how Ellie Morton, one of our Sunshine State scholars, expressed her passion for STEM education.
Computer science has been my passion since I was very young, and I plan to major in it in college. Starting when I was 8, I made websites for fun, created PowerPoints, put together iMovie videos, and used GarageBand to make music. Even in elementary school, I attended computer summer camps. As a high school student, I've attended summer programs on cryptography, the mathematics of spying, and artificial intelligence. Last summer, I attended a Stanford program on computer simulations. I loved learning about GitHub and open source projects like Arduino. We also learned about Big O, sorting algorithms, and computer history. For my career, I'm interested in designing mobile apps because it makes me feel like I'm creating something of my own. I hope to make apps that help people donate money to charities. Although I plan to major in computer science, I also plan to double major in French. I attended a partial immersion elementary school where I learned French, and I believe my exposure to French will help me be better prepared for the global workforce and will give me an edge in getting a job with a multinational corporation. I believe one of the greatest challenges America has in STEM is a shortage of qualified females, partly because not enough of us are encouraged to specialize in STEM. I feel so strongly about this that I recruited 30 girls at my school and started a club called Girls Who Code. Our club goes to local middle schools to help get girls there interested in STEM. We want to show them that it's okay for girls to code and to like computer programming. I'm Ellie Morton, and this is my story.
Yeah.
Mayor Jacobs and I love to, from time to time, share this little term. Now that's girl power. That is girl power. Ellie, please stand so we can recognize you. How impressive. So now we need to address 2 challenges facing Orange County Public Schools, facing public education all over the country. One is school siting, the other is testing. Take a look at the screen next to me. These 12 schools currently exceed their capacity by 150%. An additional 12 schools will exceed their capacity by 150% within 5 years. 2 of our schools will exceed it by 200%. OCPS is growing, and we are growing rapidly. In fact, this year alone, we added 4,700 new students. That is the equivalent of 5 new elementary schools. Fear not, we have relief planned for these schools, and we are able to provide relief from overcrowding because last November, the voters renewed that half-penny sales tax for school construction and renovation, which means we can build the new schools our community desperately needs and renovate the 65 schools you see on the screen beside me. As you look at some of our beautiful new schools and newly renovated schools, please join me in acknowledging and applauding this community for supporting public education, not once, but twice at the ballot box last fall. Thank you.
Thank you. We need the help, though, of our partners on the County Commission, and they are our partners in siting these schools. I think it's clear to all of us that the school siting process is broken and needs fixing. Schools were once points of pride to their neighborhoods, and they still should be. And to the neighborhoods surrounding Boone, Winter Park, Edgewater, Timber Creek, Apopka, and countless other schools, they still are. A neighborhood school is a gathering place, the playing fields, the social hub of an entire community. But all too often, those with no skin in the game are working to keep schools out of their neighborhood. The only way I know how to fix this problem is to amend our school siting ordinance. OCPS needs to submit its proposed sites to the Commission earlier, and we need earlier approval by the Commission. We need to reduce the acreage required for schools, and we need to provide for a better method of resolving siting concerns. We have a community known for working together, and I am confident that with the help of my friend, and she is truly a friend for many years before I got in this position and for many years before she got in her position, Mayor Jacobs, we will tackle and solve this problem as our community has always solved its problems. I will end this State of the Schools address by talking about the biggest challenge we face, and that is the overtesting of our children. In February 2014, I appeared before the State Board of Education, and I asked for a timeout. I asked them to delay implementation of Florida's new, unproven Florida Standard assessments for 1 year to allow for the new field tests to be field tested and validated and cut scores established. I believe I may have been one of the first to request such a delay. After my testimony before the State Board of Education, our board passed a resolution pointing out that the combination of new unproven tests given entirely by computer for the first time, when coupled with the absence of benchmarks and with the added stress of more than 800 newly required end-of-course examinations, was simply asking too much, too quickly, and was rash. Our warning fell on deaf ears. Unfortunately, we all know what has happened since then. The state's computerized testing system has crashed twice in the last month and a half alone, something a first-year programmer could have predicted. With every new failure, parent, public, and teacher confidence in the new test has plummeted. Now, parents throughout the state are in open revolt against the lunacy of holding children, teachers, and schools accountable for unknown results on an unproven, unvalidated test that our entire state has lost confidence in. Now, some have strongly opined that we flout the law and lead our teachers and students in civil disobedience. That will not happen. There are times in history when civil disobedience is called for example, to stand against segregation and for civil rights, or the movement against apartheid, or when opposition to an immoral war, fascism, or communism. This is not one of those times.
We do, however, have an obligation to take the steps in our power to ameliorate the negative impacts of overtesting children, and we're taking such steps. In October, we eliminated 27 district-required benchmark tests and fair tests, and made clear that the state-mandated end-of-course examinations would serve as a final exam in every course and not a separate exam. We also established that end-of-course test scores would not be permitted to affect elementary school grades. In March, follow the timeline, in March we eliminated an additional 42 tests, including elementary school end-of-course examinations. Prior to the governor signing that bill, we had good reason to make those eliminations. So we eliminated social studies and science for K through 5, and we eliminated art, music, and PE end-of-course exams for kindergarten through 4th grade. 3 weeks ago, when the governor signed legislation allowing us greater flexibility in progress monitoring and testing and remediation decisions, mind you, my principals are just shaking their head because we're at April, May, we're in the testing window when additional direction comes down. That was the case of what was signed. However, we are still required by legislation to administer the Florida Standards Assessment and state EOCs. And we are still required to measure student performance for all subjects, and we have to have partially based teacher pay on student learning growth as measured by those assessments. So it's complicated, to say the least, and the timing is just not optimal.
Now, make no mistake about it, our board strongly supports accountability, and we are not anti-testing. However, our board has strongly stated that we will not base a teacher's pay upon student test performance on a subject that teacher has not taught. We believe limited testing using a properly validated administered test is an important tool for measuring student achievement and learning gains. A properly designed and administered test can help identify areas of weakness and is an important tool for informing parents of a student's progress in mastering the content that child will need to succeed in school, their careers, and their lives. Now, I have 3 children in public school myself, and please believe me when I tell you that I hear nightly about over-testing. I hear it a lot from this lady every night. My board laughs about that. You get mentioned a lot, honey, at board meetings. I am also greatly disturbed, more than anybody in this room can imagine, at the loss of instructional time during testing season. Our board recognizes that we have not gone far enough yet. Once we receive guidance from the Department of Education on the new law, we will work to further relieve the testing burden on our students and families, and we have told the superintendent that we must find a way to keep teachers in the classroom teaching and students learning by hiring outside test proctors during testing season so our teachers may remain in the classroom teaching. Let me close out this annual State of the Schools address by saying this. Together, we have weathered storms before in public education. We have faced and met the test of vouchers, charter schools, student funding cuts, merit pay, crowded schools, even new math. I could go on, but we have survived and we have thrived because we understand the importance of a free, universal, high-quality public education to our children, our community, and our future. And with your help, we will weather this latest storm, and we will come through stronger than ever. And as proof of that, you need look no further than to that statue beside me to realize that we are, after all, the top producer of successful students in the country.